This is the end. I'm finishing the last paintings in my series. Hi there, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. Today I'm finishing my largest canvases to date. It is the first series that I've completed in my new studio, where I actually have the space to paint on several canvases at once. So this is a very exciting moment for me. I'm starting off by sanding in a few areas where I want to add a little bit more texture, where it's too flat. I'm using standard sandpaper for this and a wooden panel behind so I can apply more pressure. I'm mixing yellow oxide with some glazing fluid to create a transparent layer over some of the areas where I want to add a little bit more intense colour. This top area here was a little bit too muted and I wanted to add some brightness back into it. The large dark blue area is looking a little bit too flat, so I'm adding glazes of other colours into it to create some more interest. I'm also defining a few of the smaller details, adding more opaque colour and going over bits that aren't quite working yet. Where I've sanded, it reveals some very light bits that I want to add a little bit more color to integrate them better into the painting. This light blue down here needs to be a little bit lighter. The bit at the top really needed some more interest, and I think adding this light blue wash really helps. And it also helps to tie in the light blue from the bottom right. This very straight horizon line really bothered me, so I'm adding this yellow swoop to disrupt that a little bit. Now I want to add a gradient to the dark blue, so it gradually gets lighter towards the right. That also helps the light blue area that I painted earlier to not look so foreign. Now I'm just adding a few last touches with a very small brush, and then I can call it done. The first thing I want to do on this one is to add a darker color to the left, where the light area is currently touching the sides. This large orange area needs a little bit more dimension, so I'm adding some more saturated yellow, which is actually a yellow ochre, but it does look more saturated compared to what's already there. I'm basically just trying to add a little bit more interest to all the areas that are currently just large solid shapes. This large white area is especially bothering me, so I'm using a silicone palette knife to add some strokes of light pink. I find that the orange shape is still too dominant, so I'm adding a little bit more light yellow, which also makes that shape look smaller because the value of that yellow is more like the really light shape next to it. I do really feel that this painting isn't quite working still, so I need to do something to disrupt it, and I'm just using really random brush strokes with very bright colours that I then need to respond to. Even at this late stage of the painting process, I really like to stay playful, and if something isn't working, I try to take risks, even though it might potentially destroy the painting. But I know from experience that it will always make it look better in the end. Now I'm just trying to take back some of those random marks that I just added and making them a little bit more subtle.
This painting needs the most amount of work still, so I'm really playing on here, trying to stay loose and just experimenting. I also have an overall feeling that this painting should be much lighter, which is why I'm starting off with this light colour. The area in the centre is also really flat, so I'm adding a lot of marks to it to create more interest. If you like this video, consider subscribing. Now I'm taking back some of these more experimental marks that I did and turning them into more subtle shapes, similarly to what I did on the previous painting. I've now turned the painting around by 90 degrees because the dark shape was really bothering me on the left and I needed to be able to look at it in a different way. So rotating it or turning it upside down always really helps with that. Now that I've got a lot of marks, I'm spraying the canvas first with some water and then I'm going in with a light colour that is spread out very thinly. So I still keep the marks underneath but change the overall colour to a much lighter one. The red on the right looked a little bit out of place in this painting, so I'm just glazing over it with colours that are already in the painting. Similarly to the first painting, this dark area needs a little bit more life, so I'm adding a wash of yellow over it, which really helps to add life to it. I do have a lot of light in this painting now, but all condensed into one area. That's why I want to balance it a little bit with adding this bit of light pink up here. This little shape was distracting me a little bit compositionally, so I'm turning it into a lighter shape so it doesn't stand out as much.
I'm so happy with how this series turned out. It's quite different to what I originally had in mind, but I so enjoyed embracing the change. All paintings in this series will be available to newsletter subscribers on Saturday the 1st of June and to everyone else on Sunday the 2nd of June. So if you want to get in early, sign up to my newsletter via the link in the description box. And if you want to see them in person, check the details below for my open studio in June. If you haven't seen how these paintings started, you can watch the whole playlist by clicking on the link below. Thanks and bye bye.